How'd you like what you saw out there today?
Oh, I think anytime you're running an offense, you want to see it a little cleaner than that. But we played a large number of players, and we intermixed them. And so I thought as we got into the groove a little bit, we ran. We got a lot of yards. I thought we ran the ball very well, threw the deep ball as well as we have all spring. Like the way Shea Patterson played. Happy with the execution of our first offensive line. Would have liked to seen a little bit more, uh, maybe vertical running out of our RBs. I think we had a couple drops, um, but overall, I'm happy with the spring ball execution of the day.
What's it like just having so many talented receivers to be able to utilize in your offense?
Well, we play so many, so it's a necessity. We're gonna play probably 6 to 8 a game, and it's a receiver driven system. So the more we have, the better, and they can play. If a guy's at 80%, we can roll in the next guy, and we did a bunch of that today. And we played our tight ends in that role a bunch today too, and that was one of the things I was pleased with.
Are you comfortable with how quickly Shea is reacting and reading in the offense?
We're going to be a lot faster in the fall than we are right now. And that's not, we weren't slower because of Shea, but as this process, this is 14-day product right now. And now we have the whole summer, which is great work for us. We get to slow it down. We get to teach a lot of the finer points. In our meetings, they get to work with each other and do their own thing. I'm sure they're going to be out there throwing, and all those things will pay dividends in August because we'll be kind of past the football 101 stuff in the fall.
I know you've been doing this for a while, and you've introduced your offense several times, I'm sure, around
Yes,
your
sir.
coaching career. Do you just throw it all at them at once and see what they can absorb, or do you try to do it in increments? I mean, how do you install an offense like that?
Well, I've said earlier in the spring, we put it in 4 days. It's not overly extensive, so you're able to get it in 4 days. And then we rehashed it so days 5 through 8, we just kind of reinstalled it with some wrinkles, and we just presented a different way, maybe out of some different formations or whatnot. And I think from practice 9 on, we're just working on getting better. And I think our coaches are looking forward to August now because this is their first time in it. They know it. These guys are professionals. They know it. And, they're correcting me now. They know this stuff. So when we get into August, we're going to be able to coach the little things. And I don't feel like it'll be, this green rookie group that it felt like in the spring.
What can you do specifically to improve in the running game once you get to the fall?
Well, I tell you, but I have to kill you, right? We're going to move around a little bit, and I think what you saw today is probably the skeleton. It's just the basic package, and that's what we wanted to do. We ran about 12 to 14 days. 12 to 14 plays, and we were tempted at the end. The whole staff was tempted at the end to pull a couple plays out and try to go win it because we're competitive. But it was our goal to kind of manage spring ball and this game with X amount of plays, and we were disciplined enough to do that at the end. So we try to get it done within the playlist.
How do you feel like guys retained the offense just from the first practice until now throughout the spring?
Truthfully, we did a great job in the beginning, and we were waiting for that learning curve and that saturation point to kind of hit, and it didn't, and I was pleased about it. And then we went to spring break, and those guys had a week off. So when we got back, we had a spring break-like practice. And then we kind of got over that hump and got back into the groove. So the progress that we wanted to make in the spring offensively, we have.
Short yardage, red zone. Free said the last scrimmage y'all were really good in.
Yeah, we had one practice where we were really bad, and we had one where we were pretty good, and we had one where we did our job in those areas. Those areas probably weren't repped as much. They're priorities, but they may not have been techniqued and as repped as much as maybe we would have liked, and that'll certainly be a focus of the fall.
How do you feel the way Jordan grasped things this spring now that you've had the 15 practices to see him?
Jordan Wilkins or Jordan Tomlin?
Tom.
You know what? Jordan did great in the beginning. I was thrilled with him. Then he went through kind of a rough spot. Practices 5 through 8 were a little bit rougher mentally for him. But, he came back after spring break and committed himself. And I think actually, having Shea in front of him as sort of a role model or a guy that was setting the example in terms of how much he studied and how much time he was putting into the system, I think that helped Jordan. And so, he really finished strong in spring ball.
From what you've seen with Jordan in the spring, do you think you would feel comfortable in him running the offense for several games if it came to that?
You know what, where we are right now, I'm happy where we are progress-wise. I'm not comfortable with anybody doing anything right now. I would not want to go into the game with where we are, but where we are is where we wanted to be at the end of the spring. So there's work to be done in the summer by the players, and there's work to be done by us in fall. But if we keep progressing the way we did in the spring, then I feel confident we can get where we want to get.
If the running game doesn't get to where you want to get to, do you think the offense will still run slowly because of all those receivers you have and the quarterback you have running the offense?
Well, we don't have a choice. I mean, it has to get where we need it to get. And so, you know, the one thing that I feel very good about is we have outstanding staff. So it's going to get taught and it's going to get corrected and it's going to get presented the right way. And the second thing is we do have the talent to be a good running team along with our passing game. So I'm confident unless, you know, something drastically changes, if we keep progressing, we'll be where we want to be in the run game. I think we'll be where we want to be offensively overall.